welcome to a extremely disappointing Raw. You can see the title below, down there, how I feel about this Raw, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for it. I don't believe everyone is going to agree with me, and that's the best thing about the internet. You don't have to agree with someone, but you do have the right to at least state how you feel. In my humble perspective, this Raw was bad. The ending was a disaster to me personally. It had a great high, and then you know what happened. I will get to that at the end of this review. But let's get through everything else first. When Ryback went up against Rollins Reigns, and now we have Corporate Kane back. Honestly, I would have liked Kane to stop doing either job, wrestling or being a stooge. I would have liked him to become a manager. I really believe, and I'll explain this later, the best thing that could have happened, he should have been a manager. I really didn't care that much about it. And then the 6-day to 6-week botch did not help his case, ladies and gentlemen. Saying 6 weeks when he should have said 6 days is not something that's uncommon from wrestlers. We get accidental botches, but honestly does not help his case in this position. He sucks. But in the end, we get Ryback versus Rollins Reigns. And I'll have to say this. Rollins Reigns looked very dominant, which is very good for his character right now. People want to see this monster get over. But I do have to say this, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I'm sure people are going to say, dude, you're wrong. But I felt that since, and I don't know why, the ref DQ'd the match by both of them whacking him into a turn post. That isn't uncommon. But my point is this. Rollins Reigns wins the match by DQ. But I would have liked him to just get beaten down, and then they ended from there. He didn't have to rise to the occasion. I would have liked to see a little vulnerability. Because the way things are right now, I don't really feel like Randy Orton's going to get over on him. Particularly what happened later in the night, which I'll get to in a minute. But you get my point, hopefully, that I would have liked to see him vulnerable a little bit. He's had some level of vulnerability before, but he's always rose to the occasion and destroyed everything. But in this respect, it would have been better for him to be vulnerable. And they would have just walked away and left it like that. And you could have seen Kane laugh. And I don't care about Kane, but it would have been understandable. Having him win makes me feel like this match is going to be very lopsided. And I don't believe it's going to come out right. Because we do know that when it comes to Randy Orton, when he's slated to lose, he doesn't always do what's truly best for business. And this goes to a match nearing the end of the show. Randy Orton versus Sheamus. Now, we've seen these guys go up against each other so many times before. It is not something we haven't seen. And it wasn't a bad match. It was one of the better matches of the night. It wasn't a great one, but it was a little better. In the end, it took a long time for Randy Orton to beat a Sheamus. And you guys tell me, I've looked at the website. There is no match for Sheamus. Unless they're going to do a kickoff show with him. The IC Championship is represented. The US Championship is shit. See how far Sheamus has dropped from the Breakfast Club candidates drive. As you will, ladies and gentlemen. It's just sad to see him that. It's just sad to see this situation from a Sheamus who had a better possibility than this. Next, AJ versus Eva Marie, who I haven't seen in a long time. She usually does dark matches on the live shows from what I understand. Sometimes she'll do something on Superstars, but essentially we don't see her often. And she gets a win over AJ. With a Paige skipping along around the ring and then does a little poem. It wasn't a bad poem. And I said this, if she's a dominant, destructive heel, it would be alright. If she acts crazy, it's bullshit. She's at the edge of being crazy. And I'm not very fond of this. I still want to see the match between her and AJ, I do. But after this is over, and I don't believe that AJ is slated to lose here. If she does lose, how far are they going to push Paige as a nut? Like I said before, many times before, AJ was not a good fit when it comes to crazy. Giving it to Paige, that's not going to make it any better. It's going to be a clusterfuck if it's true. And you guys tell me below, did Paige actually hit Eva Marie? Eva Marie wins the match. She rolls out, blows a kiss to the crowd, and then she ends up on the floor somehow holding her neck going, oh, my neck hurts so bad because AJ hurt me so much. And then AJ beats the shit out of her. That was so badly staged. I just didn't like it. But you can say that you need to make AJ look dominant. So I will go with it in that respect. But here's another thing I felt was a loss. That's, well, I feel sorry for the person, just like Paige. If she's turning crazy, I feel sorry for this individual. Jack Swagger versus Cesaro. You guys tell me below, 6 months ago, Jack Swagger and Cesaro just broke off. At least 6 months ago. Nearly 6 months ago. And Cesaro was doing a monster face turn and everyone was screaming for him. Then, 5 or 4 months ago, he wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Invitational, I believe it was called. I don't know. Only thing I know, the guy was slated to win that. And he seemed like he was going to get somewhere. And now he's got nowhere. How the mighty have fallen. Oh my goodness, the guy was mighty. He had a gimmick that was going to get over. People wanted to cheer him and now he's shit. And what did we get? Jack Swagger and him having an average match. It wasn't that bad. But it was in a sense average because, let's be honest here. Cesaro's been seen so much by Kofi, by Dean Ambrose, by several other people and has jobbed so much, it's like average for him now to job. And he's a great talent, but you get my point. At the end, Rusev Julial, Rusev Matska. Flag comes down, they're standing there waving flags at each other. I gotta say this. It's beginning to get a little dull. They need to touch each other, and they need to touch each other very soon. They need to put next to them touching each other, something special. Because I have a feeling that they're going to drag this out for a while longer, and they're not going to have much to work with. Zed has stretched the deportation crap as far as he can go now. That's why it's beginning to get very stale for me. Zed needs to do something entirely different. His stick is dull now. Unless they give them a new type of situation, this is turning bad, ladies and gentlemen. This will turn bad very quickly. Next, the one-on-one with Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho. I gotta say this, even though right now I don't see anything good from this match coming out. I just don't. Bray hasn't been built properly. He hasn't gotten any wins. He just talks now and still gets his ass kicked by Jericho. Jericho's doing well. He's getting over. But the problem with Jericho dealing with Bray, it was done too soon. And it wasn't built properly. So I really don't have much reason to care right now. But I'll say this. Seeing this segment, getting rid of Michael Cole, get rid of that bastard, get rid of him. When it comes down to it, it was a good segment. I enjoyed seeing Bray talk the way he did. And I enjoyed seeing Chris talk. They both got great chemistry. They can make it work if they had been built properly. I know people, I've seen some of the subscribers send some messages saying, Chris is still good, he's relevant. Yes, to a point he is, but he was so badly jobbed out so many times for the last couple of years. To me personally, he feels weak. And even though he has been built enough that he seems like a good threat to Bray, the problem is Bray has been broken down for so bad. Look, he went up against Daniel Bryan numerous times and lost. He gone up against John Cena, a talent killer, and he's lost miserably. Now, In between that time, he should have had some wins. He hasn't had one win. You tell me the last time he won something. Not talking about a pay-per-view. I'm talking about any show that's normally seen by the fans. Now he's going up against a Chris Jericho who hasn't been built properly as it is. Who has been getting over. But then getting over so much, it makes Bray look totally weak. So, the problem here is they did a great promo segment. But here's the thing. When it comes to the match, Bray will lose no matter what. He's going to lose. No matter if he wins the match, he loses. And that's upsetting to me personally. I'm so sorry. Now, the Brie Bella and Stephanie McMahon segments. Oh my gosh. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I said this before and I'll say it again, and I will stand by what I've said. When it comes to those two, we don't see the women in the main event. I'm sorry, we don't. We don't see them near the main event. We don't. I know this is because this is Vince's daughter and they just want to give her something to do. And this is Daniel Bryan's woman. He's not there. They got to do something, so they're trying to combine him not being there to try and give more relevance to him. I understand that. But this segment was bad. What is it? I think Megan Miller. Are you serious? The name is so generic. She's saying I can't be his physical therapist anymore because I got a relationship with him. I fucked his ass. Brie comes out. Stephanie tries to hype this up saying yes. Like she's Harry Met. If anyone's ever seen Harry Met Sally, the fake moaning. That's how it was with her, and it was terrible. This was not needed. Honestly, it wasn't. Hearing they were going to have the match early did perk my interest, because if they did it early, they think that maybe this might not be strong enough to be seen on television for pay-per-view. And to an extent, it is true. Even though it is women who are really getting a spotlight here, their match is not going to be that good. Unless I'm totally surprised and I will eat crow. But you guys tell me below what you think is going to happen with this match. The thing I believe that was such a waste. Brie getting arrested? Are you serious? You could say, hey, it's the best thing to do. Battery died. Simply put, the arrest segment was not necessary. I really believe we did not need to see Brie Bella get arrested. It was not necessary in this show. And I was not happy to see it. What I am surprised to see was a match between Dolph Ziggler and Heath Slater, with Miz on commentary again. Miz isn't doing bad. He is being spotlighted. He is being seen, which we all know he does very well. In the end, Heath Slater wins by countout. This builds up into their match. And I have to say that even though it wasn't hyped very well and it hasn't been built very well, I still want to see what's going to happen with Miz and Dolph. The question to me is that no matter who wins, who's next for the champion? There's the question. Because they have a tendency to completely blow off the IC Championship after a pay-per-view and leave the IC Champion really floundering for a while. So in the end, it was surprising to see a Heath Slater who 3MB is not there anymore. Ginger and Drew's not there. Hell, Los Matadores is not there. ADR, and I have to do a video on ADR soon. I will be doing a debate of the week on that in a few, I think by tonight I might be able to do it. But in the end, he's the only one left. One of the few jobbers left. And I have to say, it's kind of nice to see a jobber once in a while get it on Raw. Am I a fan of him? I'm not a fan of Wendy. With that red hair, he is Wendy from Wendy's. When you want to eat something, you make sure you call out a Wendy with those pigtails and that red hair. But it is nice that once in a while they reward someone with a win. That's what I'm going to say for Heath. That's it. Okay? Okay. Now, anything else? Well, I think I'm done with the most... Oh, wait. Seth Rollins and RVD. Afterthought. I've seen them face each other before. I've seen them face each other in a tag team. They have pretty much the same chemistry. It doesn't really interest me that much. But it's good to see Seth get the win. And then the package. I don't know, believe I almost forgot this. Seeing Dean come out of that package wasn't 100% unsurprising, but it was nice to see. So it does hype up their match with a Lumberjacks. They're hyping that these guys are going to get their ass kicked by everybody because everybody hates them. Which is probably true in the storyline sense. They could have done a steel cage. I think it would have been better that way. That's just my personal preference for Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. You tell me below what you think would have been better for them. Do you believe it was a lumberjack match? Or do you believe, like I do, it would have been better to be a steel cage match? I think that would have been much better. And like I said, as long as he has that briefcase, he still has the money in the bank. I'm just saying. Finally, let's get to the last thing here. The Hulk Hogan segment. I was happy to hear that Hulk's birthday is going to be done on Raw. I was happy to see that he was going to get it done. The people that have been shown, Weird Al is the person I cared about the most. Because he's been around a long time. He does great videos. And it was good to see him with his accordion saying happy birthday to Hulk. Then, when it came to it, seeing the NWO with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, baby. Yo, I enjoy seeing Scott Hall. I do. I wish he would come back as a manager. I would love to see it. Hey, Chico, you know, a jefe knows how to make people stars because I made Shawn Michaels a star. You know, throw the toothpick in your face. I love Scott Hall. Oh, seeing Mr. Wonderful pulling Orndorff with that damn mustache, getting a kiss from Natalya, who wouldn't want a kiss from her. She got a nice set of boobs. She's not bad looking either. I don't know who was standing next to her when he got the second kiss. Somebody. I don't care. The man's lucky to get it because, well, he isn't lucky. He's Mr. Wonderful. He can have anything he wants. Roddy Piper was good to see. I enjoyed seeing them all. Seeing them in the ring, I enjoyed it. I wonder why Pat Patterson didn't come to the ring because it would have been better with him there too. Or Art Anderson, I would have liked to see him there because they know each other well. But the point is, two things upset me. I'm saying it clearly, two. One, that I understand it had to be done and I overlook it, even though it did upset me. The Hulkster talking about, well, you know something, Mean Gene, the $9.99 price for the... I understood he had to do it. I don't think they would have let him out there if he didn't say it. He had to plug the network. I understand that. I look past it because it's a Hulkster. I'm still a fan. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and you'll grow up as big as me. I wish I did. But you get my point. I love the Hulkster. I look past it. But I could not look past what happened with Brock Lesnar and Cena. If Brock had come out, let's be honest here. This is serious when it comes to someone's birthday like a Hulk Hogan. Even The Undertaker came out during the time with Ric Flair, who also came out, which is good to see him, and he didn't go, he went out of character. He came up to him. He spoke to him like a man in private. Of course, you couldn't hear what he said, but we know he said something with respect. And then he went back into character. He showed his respect. It would have been nice to see Brock Lesnar do that. If it had to be John Cena coming out, it would have been nice to see John Cena just come out, show his respect, and if they end the show there, I would have been fine with it. But they had to have that. They had to have Brock Lesnar come out, show disrespect to Piper, whacking him in the shoulder, get in the face of Ric Flair, making him flinch, and then get in the fucking face of the Hulkster himself. And the Hulkster is a badass. He's still at the age of 61 years young, staring his motherfucking face down like, what do you want? Like a New Yorker. What you want? You want to try something? If it had been that way, the last thing we saw was Brock Lesnar showing a little disrespect, but then saying, you know what? It's cool. Shook his hand. Walks out of the ring. I know that wouldn't happen, but that's how I feel about it. I really feel that Brock Lesnar shouldn't have been there. John Cena, if he had to be there, he could have gone in there, shook his hand, and ended it. They should have ended the show there, but they didn't. They decided to stretch this shit out, allow 10 to 15 minute overrun, and some of it was with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. And the Cena segment in the middle of the show did not give me interest. I'm going to elaborate on that later in the debate of the week when it comes also to ADR. But I'm telling you like this. Most of the show was not good. This ending pissed me off. And I believe they did terrible work in this Raw. Really. Going into SummerSlam like this, I don't see it very good. So I hope you enjoyed this Zane's view. Please give me a comment below. Tell me below if you believe Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose should have had a steel cage match. Do you believe that what happened at the ending was necessary? Do you believe that Stephanie and Brie Bella needed that extra segment with the arrest of Brie Bella? And that little twist of there being an affair between Daniel Bryan and his trainer, Megan Miller? Pizza!